Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I haven't done conversations for men in a while. Running a business is something else, especially one that's in expansion mode like mine. So a lot of the things just take me away. So this morning I'm reminded that I need to actually formalize this into a weekly podcast type of conversation so that I build some consistency around it. Um, and this morning, I'm just reminded about the narrative that keeps flying around. And I think even I've heard men actually expand on this and even repeat it, the narrative that it's women who decide, or situations where men allow women to speak on their behalf for various things. And I'm wondering if men are aware of how disempowering that is. And usually these are situations where women are speaking on their behalf on emotional issues. Because I find when it comes to politics, debate, and all such spaces, men are comfortable speaking for themselves. But I find when it comes to emotional issues, family issues, men get comfortable standing behind a woman and a woman speaking on their behalf. And they seem to be okay with that. And I wanted to find out, or just to throw a question out to say, are you aware of how empowering that is? Because when you put yourself in a situation, apho uhlale uthelelwa, you are teaching yourself ukuthi wena awukwazi ukuzithethelela. And this shows up in different things. And I feel also men use it as a crutch because then it gives you room to be irresponsible. I'll make an example. You guys know what I'm not bashing in these conversations, right? So there was a topic last week. It was a wife who was asking on behalf of her husband about maintenance issues and she felt the baby mama was asking for too much money, and she was hoping that she would get advice on behalf of the men, and so that the money goes down, and the guy is just contributing about around 600 trans for two kids. One thing stood out for me is that when it comes to such things, men are happy allowing the next person to decide on their behalf. And women are happy to step in that role of speaking on behalf of the men. It was a guy, said, but we are partners, so she's supporting me and in my head, I'm like, no, she's not supporting you. You are using her to hide behind her so that when you speak to the baby mama, you say, she decided on my behalf. She made that decision. It absolves you of any form of accountability and responsibility because somebody else is making the decisions for you. On the flip side, though, I was having a conversation with a friend, and I won't mention the friend, and I hope she allows me to share the story. The friend got, so the friend was asking her ex-husband, who's now married, ukuthi, kids are going to school, in fact, to high school now, and as such, I would like them to take them to a particular school that costs a particular amount. And the gentleman was like, I am not gonna have that amount because I have a family now. I'm married again. I'm taking care of other of kids and then the lady was like, but you are taking care of somebody else's kids at the expense of your own. Yes, I get that you're married, but does it mean you're no longer responsible for your kids? Because what you're doing is you are absolving your own responsibility by taking care of somebody else's kids. And it ended there. Except later on, the wife of the ex-husband then contacted the baby's mom, the moms of the baby of her husband's babies to say, um, do not talk about my kids again with your husband. Go find your own a stepdad for your own kids as well, because your husband is taking care of my kids. It's not my fault that when you can't get a man to take care of your kids. So I found that quite interesting, because now, um, in a weird twist, the women are also absolving men of their responsibility. And in the same vein, men are using the women to hide so that they don't take accountability. But I don't want to focus on that wife now. I want to focus on the fact that are men aware that these things they keep disempowering you. Ne? They make you seem like you cannot make decisions for yourselves. They make you seem like you are literally irresponsible where it counts the most. Because I feel there could be a way for a husband to take care of the children that he has adopted through marriage, plus the children he had in his previous marriage. But I feel we run away from thinking about tangible solution, and we attach ourselves to things that are going to absolve ourselves from taking responsibility. And I'm talking about men here. When I check the comments before I continue, because I feel the continuous hiding behind women is making you guys lose a sense of personal responsibility. Yesterday, I learned an interesting English word or English term. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it, because Bendichonga is solo. um, yes, it's called plausible deniability. English, yes. Let me just read it. Plausible deniability. I read this yesterday, and I feel men do this a lot. Plausible deniability. I'm gonna tell you what it means. Um, Plausible deniability refers to the denial of blame informal in formal or informal situations. Chains of command. Ne? Senior people may give indirect or vague orders. For example, who will read me of this turbulent priest? Or someone should do something about that. What it means is that a command has been sent out, but it leaves enough room for a person to say, but I ask you to do something about it, without you having named the person that you want to do something, that you want them to do something. And it leaves room for you to deny having given an order, and also room to even to take ownership of a particular order, because it's vague enough to make you in or to make you out, if you know what I mean. In English, guys, it's different. So I feel like men do this a lot, where, especially in emotionally charged issues. This is a situation where men usually would create a situation that makes them angry, makes them angry, so that the other person sees and feels the anger and doesn't do anything else to hold the person accountable. So the men create the anger situation, or they become much more angrier than the person who's forcing them to face up to something or to be accountable for something. They create a situation where they become much more angry, so that it takes away the focus. Plausible deniability, that means like you did something to me, and therefore, it's a similar thing that men do, where they say, I have a mother of my kids. They don't say actually we're married. They say she's just the mother of my kids. But then it leaves enough room to say, but I told you about it, but enough room to say, but let's try something. My daughter and the tricks. So in this conversation, I just want to say to men, do you guys ever desire to take control of your emotional well-being, which is also inclusive of taking care of your mental state, the depressions et al, and also taking care of the decisions that you need to make in support of your emotional well-being. I feel like you guys tend to let go of decisions that you need to make in emotionally charged situations. You find ways to hide, you find ways to shift attention and blame so that it absolves you of any point of accountability. I'm just leaving it in your hands. I'm just leaving it in your hands, gents, to say it's 2022. There is absolutely no reason why you should be stuck in age old ways of doing things. You need to catch up. And one of the areas that a lot of you need to catch up on is taking care of emotional issues, your emotional well being. Everything cannot be in your head anymore or in your head logic space anymore. It has to filter down because that's what you need to evolve to now. When we talk about the divine masculine, we're talking about that space, that evolution that says logic, spirituality, emotionality all needs to be in sync. And you guys are not there yet. And this is why I'm here to talk about more about divine masculinity and to see where that takes us. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. A lot of you guys will parent so much more better and will co-parent so much more better when you're able to pinpoint your accountability point and your responsibility point in emotional issues. You'll co-parent so much more better. Have a wonderful day.